Welcome back to the Talk at Elevation. I'm your host, Addison Perry, and beside me here is your host, Michaela Nagel. Thanks for joining us for another episode where we dive into the stories behind the people shaping sports, culture, and creativity.
Before we jump into today's conversation with Victoria Hernandez, a powerhouse storyteller connecting the world of sports, music, and media, we want to take a second to shout out one of our supporters who's been helping athletes chase their own stories this winter.
Basketball, wrestling, or swimming, your winter season deserves visibility. Fanday Nation delivers highlight videos, recruiting education, and mental performance coaching to help athletes reach the next level. Visit fandaynation.com and get noticed.
And parents, this winter, give your athletes a real edge. Fanday Nation creates highlight reels, teaches recruiting education, and builds confidence, so they stand out on college coaches. Learn more at fandaynation.com, where athletes rise.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Growing up in Denver, studying journalism and sports administration at University of Miami, what first drew you to storytelling and specifically like telling stories behind the blends of sports and like history, culture, all that?
Yeah, so I grew up, my dad is a huge Broncos fan, so I just jumped right into sports as a baby, you know. Yeah, I even have two brothers, and I was the one who would watch sports with my dad, you know, like awesome. I don't know. And even when I was little, I'd read the newspaper as a kid. Like I was, you know, I don't know. It was just in me. And I was a team manager, you know, a glorified water girl and for my high school football team. And I always wanted to work for ESPN. That was kind of like the dream. And then I was choosing colleges, and University of Miami had a specific journalism program. And they made you double major, so I could do sport administration. And, of course, it's a huge sports school and on the beach. You know,
win-win. Perfect.
All the factors added up. That was the right school for me. I jumped in pretty quickly freshman year covering youth sports, which is like a unique. I think it's grown more since 10 years ago. It was a blog covering youth football in South Florida, which is crazy,
awesome.
You know.
I bet they love that.
Yeah.
Some recognition.
Yeah, it was fun to cover some of the coaches who were building up these kids, and, you know, these little kids take it so seriously. Yeah, so then I got to cover the Miami Hurricanes football, basketball, baseball teams there and built up my resume as best as I could. And then junior year of college came, and, you know, you look for internships, and I applied for all the sports internships I could find. There's one called Sports Journalism Institute, which is pretty popular. Okay. And I was a semifinalist for that, but I didn't get it. So I was like, what am I doing, you know? But I've always loved music, too. So I was just looking at anything that would still be journalism, and I got an internship at a music blog in LA. Yeah. So that kind of helped me pivot to cover other facets of culture. But yeah, now it's kind of just grown into sports was always my first love, you know, but music, fashion, and just how they all intersect, and I've kind of ran with that.
I love that. That's cool.
Awesome.
That's all of my top interests too. So.
Yeah. Perfect.
You don't have to pick. You
can
do
it all. You can do it all.
Yeah.
So you made that dream come true to work for ESPN, and you've worked with some other major platforms, the LA Times, USA Today Sports. What were some of those moments earlier in your career that helped you find your voice as a journalist?
Yeah, I think really honing in on those, kind of follow what you love, you know? So I've always loved American football, and I think that just being the biggest sport in the U.S. helps find those intersections of fashion and music. Even just, you know, I'm grateful I did get to work for a music blog. I've interviewed Damian Lillard about his music, which was kind of a cool angle. It's harder to interview Damian Lillard about basketball because everyone's trying to interview him about that, you know.
Right,
but if you can find those unique angles.
It's cool.
But yeah, even you said I did get to work for ESPN. That was their Anscape, like their culture vertical. And I think I got to do two stories, but the first one was Darren Waller on his music too. So again, kind of a unique angle. And yeah, that was seeing my name like on the red ESPN website. I was like, okay, I can retire. Like, this is it. This is all I need to do in life. But yeah, so grateful for those opportunities. And yeah, even working in music more, I kind of had peace with, maybe I'll never work in sports again, just because the doors weren't there. But yeah, I'm just really grateful that a lot has come full circle, and also the importance of advocating for yourself. At LA Times, I was an office assistant. We, like, you know, the movies where they're pushing mail carts? Like, that was me. Like, but during COVID, they assigned us each a beat, and they wanted me to do, like, community affairs or something. And I was like, does sports need any help? And they were like, you have to, like, really know sports to, like...
You're like, I do.
And yeah, just don't be afraid to advocate for yourself. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so...
That's
for
good.
sure.
Yeah.
Great advice.
Yeah. You've really been ahead of the curve in the space with sports, fashion, hip-hop overlap. How do you think that the worlds connect so naturally, and what do you love most about them intersecting?
Yeah, I think even if we just think of each of ourselves as a person, we each have multiple interests. Or even for me as a journalist, yes, I like writing, but I like doing creative graphics and video. And yeah, so just even we see these athletes, and for so long they've just been about their stats and their, you know, but I think social media has helped a lot to show that they are into fashion. They do have families. They make music, or they're fans of music. And so, yeah, I think it's just been fun to show the humanity of each athlete and just different people, and show how people are connected to their communities and to just they have different interests that we have interests in too, so it almost like levels the playing field.
Yeah,
to be like,
absolutely.
oh, they love this song too, or you know,
Normally you would never know, too.
Yeah.
That's the
Right.
cool part about it all.
Yeah, learn more about than just their stats. Learn
Right,
about
learn
life.
smack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah.
You talked about seeing artists misrepresented or their stories simplified online, and that inspired you to start Kick the Concrete. What was that turning point when you realized I need to build something of my own?
Yeah, so Kick the Concrete, the vision, if we go like way back, it started in college. I had a news design class, and we had to do a magazine, like just a cover and a spread, you know, but that's where I came up with the name. Actually, it's based off Tupac's poem, The Rose That Grew Out of Concrete. And then, like, kicks are sneakers, and it just sounded cool, you know?
Nice.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that name always kind of stuck with me. And then around, like, 2016, 2017, I was kind of, like, just angsty with especially the music journalism scene. It's a lot of clickbait. It's a lot of grabbing quote, like, controversial quotes,
Right.
especially working in hip-hop,
Yeah.
the rap beef, you know? Like,
Right.
yeah. So-and-so stole so-and-so's chain, and it's just, you know? Like, yeah, and even stories, you know, that I was assigned to write, someone would tweet it and be like, this is not what I meant, you know? And I'd be like, I want these people to feel validated. That felt icky to me. Yeah, 2017, we launched Kick the Concrete, more as a music blog, like, to tell first-person stories about just music artists and their songs and their heart. And then I shelved it during COVID because everything shut down.
World was crazy.
Yeah. But then it just kind of just stayed in my heart to do my own thing. Like, even I got the job at USA Today, and I had great opportunity. Like, it was a good job. I have nothing bad to say about the company, or the people there were amazing, but I just kind of had this lingering instinct that I needed to give this another shot.
Yeah, good thing you
Yeah.
did.
Oh, thank
Way
you.
to follow your instinct. It's such a creative concept. I love it. It's different, and that's what
thank
makes it so
you.
cool and like attracting, like, in a way.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's
for
awesome.
sure.
What does Kick the Concrete mean to you personally?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just having that vision and taking that leap of faith to see my personal voice come through me. Even earlier you asked how did I develop my voice, and I think traditional journalism, it is so needed, and we need objective news, and we need to hold power accountable, but I also am a fan of sports and music. And so I even remember sitting in my earliest journalism classes, and they were like, you know, you are not a fan of these teams.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I was
you have
like,
to
but I'm
be.
such a fan.
Like,
you
what
know?
about the Broncos?
Yeah, we're like, wait, what do you mean?
So yeah, for me, I do present an element of traditional journalism, but I also consider it content creation, and that I have more fun and creativity around,
Yeah.
hey, this is what I support, and this is what I believe in, or like, just different things.
Because we have to have our own opinions, otherwise we're just gonna be
boring.
stuck.
If everyone was the same, life would suck.
Right?
Very true. You've talked about kind of like the pandemic and losing motivation for the project. What did those moments teach you about persistence and your faith in your purpose?
Yeah, I think COVID made us all stop and what is our purpose, and I think it helped us connect with family better and just slowed down a bit. Like, we don't always have to be on the go. Even I think people working remote more now isn't necessarily a bad thing. Like, moms can stay at home with their babies, or just different things like that. I think, I'm grateful my parents raised me with a sense of faith. So since I was little, and even my little brother has had some health issues, he's our miracle baby, like he's like an adult now. I still call him my baby.
He's always going to be your baby.
I think that was definitely a time to reflect deeper on my faith. And just, even the fact of taking the leap of faith to leave a good job and relaunch Kick the Concrete was definitely a spiritual thing for me. And so
how has your faith in your role in Kick the Concrete kind of shaped the way you approach your work and leadership?
Yeah, I think for me, my faith is very foundational in everything I do, whether that's going to get groceries and trying to be nice to people, like,
it's very hard to do.
Those cart runners, it's back your ankles. You're like,
But I don't label Kick the Concrete a Christian brand because I want it to transcend those boxes. And I have worked for Christian blogs before, and that was cool, and I'm grateful for those opportunities. But I think just my personal vision of how to interact with the world and just tell stories is different than what that traditionally looks like. Even someone who's really inspiring to me is Jerry Lorenzo with Fear of God, and how he himself is a man of faith. And obviously Fear of God, that's a very God-centered name. But like, his company has become part of culture in so many ways that is just really inspiring to me.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
That's amazing. You've accomplished so much, obviously, covering the NBA Finals, the Super Bowl, but you said fulfillment didn't come from checking off career boxes. Like you said, you had to quit a good job to kind of kickstart your Kick the Concrete. So what does success truly mean to you?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. That's even in my early journalism days, I always end my interviews with, what does success mean to you? So it feels like a full circle moment. But I think honestly, even, I had been processing leaving USA Today for a while, and we were leading up to the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, and I was, we do a lot of live blogs and just kind of from the couch coverage, So I was like fully prepared to watch the Super Bowl on the couch. But like a week or two before, they called me and they were like, hey, we're going to send you to the Super Bowl.
Oh my God,
and I
that'd
was
be
like,
awesome call.
I was like, that's a dream come true,
And who was playing?
It was the one in Las Vegas. It was Chiefs and 49ers.
Okay.
They went into overtime, and Christian McCaffrey's from here.
He is. He went to Valor.
Yeah. I got to go to Valor and do a little, this is where he went to high school
story.
that
story on it.
Yeah.
Wait, that's awesome.
But anyways, that almost like, that made leaving harder because I had even in my mind been like, okay, after the Super Bowl, I'm going to leave because I'm going to sit on the couch and then be like, okay, thanks for the opportunity. But then they sent me to the Super Bowl, and I was like, no, like, I can't leave after they invested all this.
Exactly.
The
awesome opportunity.
Yeah. But I don't know. I had to follow that gut instinct, and I think success at the end of the day is just living in purpose and having peace just daily that I'm following. I'm also bad at planning, which can be hard, like as a business owner. But I think that does help me have kind of a loose grasp on, if I don't check this and this off, I'm a failure. And I feel like you said, I've checked so much off already. It is okay, now I can just be more fluid with my purpose, I guess, or like that
and the path
success.
you've gone down.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So when people visit Kick the Concrete on the website or the first magazine issue, what do you want people to take away? How do you want them to feel? How do you want them to react?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think our tagline is like inspiration and motivation at the intersection of sports, music, and fashion. And I think just that inspiring, motivating sense that, like, even the fact we cover fashion, and we do cover luxury fashion, and to me, it's not a materialistic thing. It's like a motivational, aspirational thing. So I really just want people to feel motivated to live in their purpose and not afraid to aspire to, greatness is a term that's thrown around easily, but like each person really does have a sense of purpose. And I just want people to feel like they can tap into the different elements of their calling too, whether that's sports, music, fashion, food, there's so many different things.
So many different niches you can fall into.
Yeah.
What's the future for Kick the Concrete? What do you want to do next with it?
Yeah, I want to continue tapping into events. I've done a few, I call them community mixers, where people can just come and hang out. We have DJs and food usually, and we have done a few print magazines in the past, like especially in the first iteration. So I'm working on the next one of that. Yeah, just continuing to be, I'm based here in Denver. I really, with the internet, it's nice to be able to just kind of be wherever. I still have a lot of connections in it. So yeah, just continuing to grow, even just the spirit of it, of, hey, Kick the Concrete's here, covering cool things, because it's cool, you know?
It's really cool.
So
It's cool. What would you want your followers, your viewers to kind of remember about, Kick the Concrete and like what it is? Like, I guess in a way of saying, the future for them and how they can get there. And does that make sense? Really?
do you mean
Let's cut that question.
That's
So,
okay.
I was kind of free ball off something I was thinking. But
yeah.
Do you want to ask her our final question?
yeah, let's do that.
That's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
Okay, so we always ask this to everyone. You said you had your niche of asking, what does success mean to you? We always kind of ask, how do you want to be remembered?
Yeah, no, that's good. I think I want to remember just as someone who cared, as someone who, I do think I'm a hard worker, and even being a business owner, it has to work, kind of has to
Right.
come first in
Yes.
certain ways. But even my business, like I have my business to let people know that their stories matter, and that, even just different ways I've shown my friends that I'm there for them, or my family. Even the reason I moved back to Colorado was to be with my family, support them through some stuff. And yeah, I mean, even like I mentioned the grocery store thing earlier, but I hope just people, whenever I leave a space, or I hope people just feel like a sense of light, or a sense of there's goodness in the world.
Like to leave it better than you found it.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
So
That's awesome.
Good thing to live by for sure. Thank you so much for joining us today. It was very insightful to learn about everything you've done and all the work you've accomplished.
No,
Yeah.
thank you both. It's always great to hear what people see of Kick the Concrete, and
Yeah.
it's encouraging.
Absolutely. And we'll keep up with your work, and we're so excited to see what's next for it as well.
And then where can our fans find you?
Yeah.
Instagram handles, things like that.
Yeah, so Kick the Concrete on all social media, the website. Social media is at Kick the Concrete, one word, and then the website is kicktheconcrete.com. And then I'm Lady V, like V with 3 eyes. I think Instagram has a dot between Lady and V. But,
They'll find
know,
it.
It's somewhere along this.
but yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. And yeah.
That's a wrap.